I saw her face to face, and I said to her, how come when you and so were doing it, there was no awkwardness or no hesitation? And she was like, I'm going to be honest with you, which I respected her for her honesty, but I wish it would have came before. She was like, I've always wanted to do it. And hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tashana. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for coming. Title, so you already know, I'm going to be talking about my ex best friend sleeping with my ex. Yeah, it's no shade, it's no animosity, it's nothing. Do not bash, do not judge me, do not judge them. I don't know, maybe other people would have handled the situation differently than I did, but yeah, do not judge anybody here. I'm not doing this video to get back at anybody. Yeah, there's absolutely no animosity in my heart. I feel like if you hold on to certain things and like you hold on to grudge and all of that, I feel like you keep yourself, it only hurts you. So I'm very much at peace, like I'm saying, and I just want to share the things that I have been through that I've never shared with anybody. I feel like I need to say this every single story time, so if there's somebody new watching and they've never watched my first story times and know why do I share my story times, they know. I feel like YouTube is a place where you can express what happened to you or what happens to you. Other people might be able to learn from what happened to you, or other people that had been in a similar situation will feel like they're not alone. So yes, that's why I'm sharing this story. I also just want to share so people can understand, other people that I'm dealing with currently can understand why it is that she operates the way she does. I don't feel like you can fully learn me because I'm a very, very complicated person, but you can at least learn. For example, I am very, very, very untrusting, and I just want people to understand, like, it's not necessarily you, because I feel like people take things personally. It's not necessarily you, it's just all the things that I've dealt with. It's me dealing with all those people combined that makes me who I am today. I'm super, super grateful, because I feel like I would have just been in the world very naive and just been like expecting rainbows and flowers all the time. And because I've been in these situations, I know not to trust people, and especially with where I'm at now, people are super, super, super fake. And if I hadn't been through situations that I've been through, I feel like I would have fallen for a lot of the fake ish that goes on. When I say fake, I mean like people will smile with you, people will act like they're your friends, and people will go behind your back, try to sabotage anything that you're doing, try to sabotage you at work, try to sabotage you with anything. And I feel like because I've been through situations where the closest people to me have done me wrong, I feel like I'm able to see. Now it's like a veil has lifted off my eyes, and I'm able to discern better. I'm able to tell when somebody is not being genuine, and I just want people to understand, like, this is where I'm at in life, and I don't think there's anything at this point in my life that somebody can do to me that will make me be like at this point in my life, pretty much you're just going to be proving me right that I shouldn't trust you. So there we have it, and this is why I share my story time. Enjoy the story time. Don't judge anybody. So my ex-best friend, we did every single thing together. I think it was to the point where it was unhealthy. It was very unhealthy. A lot of like comparison, couldn't have other friends. I feel like it was always jabs at me, like, oh, my brother said I'm prettier than you, da 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 da. My mother said you're a bad influence, da 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 da. When literally I'm the friend that you would come to, and I would say to you, like, I don't think that's the right thing to do, or whatever. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to say too much, but just know I was for sure not the bad influence in this friendship, okay? But they would take that and then come to me and then say to me, well, my parents are saying you're a bad influence. And I'm just like, well, if I'm such a bad influence, why don't you even like stop being my friend? I remember I said to her, do you think we should still be friends? Because if your parents don't like me and whatever, because she's coming to me with whatever, and I'm just like, so what is your point of coming to me with this? Do you think we should stop being friends? And she's like, no, that's just what they're saying. I don't have to listen to them. We're friends. It's not you and them are friends. And I was just like, that don't make any sense because you're still coming to me with what they're saying. So that's very contradicting. All right, so lo and behold, now she's having issues with the same family members because they're very negative. The brother would talk about all of our friends, like say the friends are not good friends. She's the best friend out of all of them. She should choose better friends, blah, blah, blah. He would say that to her, and her mother would do the same thing. So it was a very, very toxic household for her. Like everybody there was just negative. And like I said, my mother tried to stay out of like my friendships and stuff like that, and she also knows like I'm very stubborn, so it doesn't matter what you say. So she would try to like leave it alone. So she's like crying every day and like just very unhealthy environment. All her names and what, you know, Jamaican people deal with situations. They were doing all of that. Just very loud and embarrassing and whatever. So I was living with my ex. I said, okay, if you're having issues with them, you can come over to my house. You can come over to my house. Mind you, there was stuff happening. If you watch my story time about the teacher, the teacher one, you would understand that there were already stuff going on and this relationship was already strained and all of that. And I just didn't really, I think it was coming to a point where both of us knew we should end the relationship, the friendship or whatever, but we didn't. So I invited her over to my house. It was always just pure vibes. The house that he lived in would be the house that people would come to for stuff, and like there'll always be like a lot of guys there and vibes and all of that. So she liked the vibe and whatever, and so she wanted to stay for a longer period. So I remember she left and went home and then came back with her things, and she came back with her things and stayed for a couple weeks. And she stayed for a couple weeks, and then I remember when she came up, the clothes that she was wearing, I'm not an insecure person, okay? Not never have been, never will be. But the clothes that she was wearing, if you're from Jamaica, do you know we call them panderivas? Panderivas, the little boxer panties, the square ones. Those are what she would wear for shorts. I'm not exaggerating. She would wear panties for shorts. And I was wondering, like, why would she do that? Like, why would she do that? Like, I feel like if I go to your house and your man is there, like, I feel like I would be respectful and dress appropriately. You're not gonna look like grandmother, but like all of your butt doesn't have to be out. Like, all of your butt doesn't have to be out. I didn't really care, and I left it alone. I was just like, okay, whatever. I left it alone. When he was like crushing on me first, I had a boyfriend, and he would always tease me about the person I was in a relationship with. And the moment I broke up with the person, he actually likes me, whatever, when we started talking. Say that to say, when we started dating, it was a lot of teasing. So I know his way of like flirting with people. It would be a lot of teasing her, and we'd be like teasing her like about stuff about her body, about stuff about her like face or whatever like that. And he thinks I'm not going to notice because he's saying something bad about her. So I'm just like, okay, that's something to look into. Every time I would go outside, when I come back in, it would be like weird movements and like sudden movements, just like very shaky, very shaky. And so that was something else for me to note. I remember one time we were laughing, because we're always laughing and giving jokes. One time we were laughing, and I remember her laying in his lap, and I remember she got so close to him, like in his lap, like and I remember him saying to her like, "Come onto my lap, your head stink." And that's to show you like how close she was to him, that he had to say that. Like, I've never ever like been close to any of her boyfriends. Like, I'm not that type of person. And I'm going to probably insert clips in this video to show you guys that if I wanted to talk to anybody of hers, I could have, because her ex-boyfriends message me all the time on Instagram. The story with the teacher, if you watch the Storytime with the teacher liked me, I guess, pedophile teacher, liked me, started messing with her, still was texting me, still tried to kiss me, still like made moves, and I said no. Okay, so it was not a case where I wasn't able to do the same thing. I could have, but I didn't want to, and I was interested. Anyways, so I see.
Okay guys, so I'm editing and I'm remembering now, it would also be every single time me and him have an argument, he would call her and they would just like have friendly discussions, I guess meet up or whatever, and then she would call me and saying to me like, don't disrespect him, blah blah blah. So it was literally like they had a whole separate friendship and whole thing going on outside of me.
This, and I'm just like, okay, these two are getting very friendly. I don't know what's up. So I'm there, and there was a little boy in the community that he also frequents where my ex worked, and he used to tell me that he saw her at his workplace and that they were meeting up at a house that was close by his workplace. One of his friends lived where he worked, and I guess they would meet up there. So I remember the little guy telling me that, and I was just like, okay, no, I don't believe. And there was another guy that lived in the community that was super close with my ex that was asking me to hook him up with my friend. And so that guy ended up telling me, you don't want to give me your friend, but he's having with your friend and whatever. So like, I'm hearing all of this, I'm seeing the little things that she's doing, stuff like that. Like, I'm seeing, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything. And my mother would see when she was walking around like in the yard and whatever. So, or if she would come to do anything, my mother would see. So my mother pulled me one side one day and said to me, Tashana, I don't like the clothes that she's wearing in the house, and never you will have a friend staying so long with your man and whatever. And like I said, I'm not the type of person that's going to sit down and discuss my friend with my parents or my other friends or anything like that. So I would just like shut her up pretty much and just tell her leave it alone and whatever. So that's what I did. And if I call her and let her know that she was right, my mother doesn't even know to this day, unless I send her this video, that was the case. But anyways, so they're moving very strange. Like I said, I am very strategic with how I do things, and I'm hearing all of this and I'm just like, what's really going on? So one night I said to him first, he was there, and I said to him like, what do you want? He was like looking or whatever. So I was like, what do you want? And then he was like, yeah, no hesitation. He was like, yeah. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna ask her. I said to her, do you want to? And she was like, what do you want to do? And that was another thing, because it's just like, how do you know what his response was? I guess every man would want to do that, but like, how do you know for sure like he would even want to? So that was like, oh, okay, so you already know his answer. So she said, what do you want to do? And I said, okay. And I literally went back in, and like I said, I'm very strategic. I don't care. I just want to see what's up, like what's up with both of you. And I pretty much said, okay, went back in, just left the two of them. I just left the two of them there. There was absolutely no, like if you're doing something with somebody for the first time and there's a little bit of nervousness or tension or a little bit of like, where do you want to go, or like asking questions or anything like that, or who goes on top, whatever. There was no questions being asked. And I know she's also like this, like it's not like me making stuff up. I know, because remember, we tell each other everything, and whenever it is that she is with somebody new, she would tell me that she was so uncomfortable or was so awkward at the first time or whatever. With him, literally so natural, and they just went on and did their thing, and I was just like, okay. So I left them, see what I want to see. Okay, this is what we're doing. Very awkward and very weird, and it was just very weird. And then I was just like, okay, what do I do now? Because like I had a feeling and people were telling me, but I now know that these two more than likely did something before. So I said, okay, can't be 100% certain still, I'm going to ask her. So after a couple days, she went home, and I ended up waiting until I saw her face to face, and I said to her, how come when you and so were doing it, there was no awkwardness or no hesitation? And she was like, I'm going to be honest with you, which I respected her for her honesty, but I wish it would have came before. She was like, I've always wanted to do it. And it was just like, it was such an uncomfortable place to be in, and such a weird place to be for me as the friend, because like I said, like with everybody else, everybody knows me for cut. This particular friend, I had this friend for a very long time, and I valued our relationship. I really did value our relationship, and so it was just like a weird place for me to be in, because it's just like, what do you do now? At least she's being honest, but why would you even really want to have with somebody that I'm with. I don't think any of my other friends would say yes either. I don't think any of my other friends would have said yes. Let me know down in the comments if somebody asked you, if your best friend asked you if you wanted to, whatever, if you would have said yes. And also if it was something that you were already premeditating doing or premeditating wanting to do. That's so weird to me. And like I said, there has been many other people that she has been with or whatever that I could have, or they flirted or something, but it's never my intention to do anything with anybody that she's with. I just feel like that's weird. That's just like weird to me. Like, I don't know, that's just weird to me. But yeah, so, and even the teacher, like I said, when he tried to do that, I said to her when we went back home, I was just like, yeah, you need to cut him off. Like, you need to cut him off, because I don't know what his intentions are. And if it is that there was anybody, neutral person, there are many neutral persons. Like, if I wanted to do that, I could have done it with somebody that was neutral, like somebody that wasn't into her or somebody that I was dealing with. So anyways, that happened, and like I said, she said, I've always wanted to do it. And then I was just like, do I cut her off or do I continue to be friends with her? Because at least she was honest. Thought about it, and I decided to just let her continue being friends with me. That's done and over with, and I'm living my life and whatever, continuing. With him, I already didn't trust him. Like I said, I already didn't trust him. It was already somebody that I never really saw a future with or anything like that. But things happened as well with him where the relationship continued to go on. It goes on and on and on. And like I said, I don't trust him, don't trust her, but I'm just like continuing being friends, whatever. At one point as well, I felt a little bit guilty, because I was just like, okay, what if it wasn't true that they were having relations and I was the one that initiated that, and that is where it really started, even though I know that that was not the case. And even though she said like, oh, I've always wanted to do it, a little bit, a part of me always felt guilty, and I feel like that's why I've never said this to anyone. But like I said, that's what she said to me after. I knew he wanted to do it because I know his way of flirting with people. So it was more so in me like, let me just let them do it in front of me. So if anything, if it's not happening already, which I doubt it wasn't, at least I can be the one to see, or it can be in front of me for the first time when it happens. I think that was my headspace. So I did that, and then we continued in the relationship. And I remember one day he came to me again, and he was just like sitting down, we were having a conversation. It was supposed to be like a good conversation, like, I love you so much, blah blah blah. That's what he was saying. And he was like, yeah, you're a star, and a lot of people want what you have, and you should be proud of yourself, and blah blah blah. And even your friend wants me, and you should be proud of yourself because you have a man that other people want, is what he said to me. First of all, I'm not that type of person. Like I said, I'm proud of myself for myself. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So he thought that was supposed to be something that brought us closer together, but it didn't. So what ended up happening was, I was like, what are you talking about? He started telling me now, yeah, when you used to be in the house, because by this time we moved away, when you used to be in the house, she used to blow kisses at me, and whenever you would walk away, and she would start rubbing me or whatever, like touching me, blowing kisses or something like that. And whenever you would come, she would start behaving differently, and you shouldn't trust her and whatever, she's not your real friend. And I remember one time I took a picture with two of my other friends and her, and it was my birthday, and they were all standing on the side, kissy faces to the side. And I remember when I brought the picture home, he was like, you see her face, like she doesn't really like you, she's not a true friend, you have to be careful, blah blah. I was just like, what are you talking about? And so I asked him, like, so you had sex with her, blah blah. And he was like, yeah, we did, and whatever. And I was like, but that's my friend, why would you do that? And he was like, you should just know that you have what everybody else wants, and I'm telling you now. And I remember I got so angry. I was so upset, because I feel like he's telling me this so that I can be more appreciative, and it's just like, dude, do you even understand? So I told him to leave the house. He didn't want to leave the house. Yeah, it was very bad. And that's when I ended up making a post on Facebook and was just like, this girl had with the man that she knows I'm with, and whatever behind my back and whatever. All right, so a couple days pass. You guys are think I'm gonna think I'm a yamid. Couple days pass, he's not in the house. I tell him to leave. He didn't want to leave, but I ended up starting him, and he realized how serious it was, so he ended up leaving. I made the post on Facebook. I had it there. A lot of people were reaching out to me, whatever. I called her, I asked her, and she said no. I said, did you have whatever with him anytime that I wasn't aware of? And she said no. She said no. She didn't try to like expound. She didn't try to like say no because this, and I would never do that. She didn't say. She was just like no. And I was just like, I don't believe you. I'm gonna say something to let you guys know why I didn't believe her, and it's gonna seem like I'm whatever. Anyways, she had relations with her mother's boyfriend, right? And her mother found out because she was hearing things and asked her if she did, and she told her mother no. And to this day, her mother still doesn't know that she did for real. And so when she told me no, I wasn't taking her word for it. So I still put it on Facebook. I was just like, can you believe, younger days, so I was just like, can you believe this bitch had sex with mommy behind my back? And he's out the house, so he wants to come back in the house now, and he comes back around and he says no, he never did it. And he was like crying and making it like, oh, I really didn't do it, I was just trying to get you upset because you always act like nothing can piss you off or whatever. And it was just like very strange, because it wasn't a situation where we're arguing, we're literally talking, and he was trying to have a heart-to-heart with me to let me know that I shouldn't trust friends or whatever. And then he said that. So it was just like very strange how he would just bring that up without any kind of like nothing, just bring it up. So he really talked about it and was just like, I was lying, blah blah. I also didn't want it to be true, so I chose to believe that it was a lie. But deep down, I never trusted him, never trusted her, never trusted the both of them again, ever. So certain things I would keep to myself. I wouldn't say anything, like things that I would normally share with her, I wouldn't share, and all of that. He came back around. We ended up being together, didn't trust him, blah blah, just letting it ride out. I don't know how he thought that it was going to go anywhere, but he was always like, oh, you're the one for me, blah blah blah. I don't know how he felt like that could have been repaired or anything like that with everything that happened between us. It was just where I couldn't trust either of them ever again. So certain things like I would never mention, and we were both just weird to each other for a long period of time, and we just both pretended like everything was good. And yeah, that's what happened. I know a lot of persons were like, and I remember I put an apology message on Facebook and was like, oh, I should have listened to you when you said no, but that was literally just because I didn't want it to be true, and I couldn't believe that happened to me. And then I posted that she did that on Facebook, and I also didn't want anybody to think that that happened to me because of pride. So I removed it and put the apology up. And I remember, yeah, that's another thing. I remember when I put the apology up, like I should have listened and I tagged her in it, and she should have commented like, oh, I forgive you, I didn't whatever, and you should have listened to me. She didn't leave any comment on it. She didn't leave any comment on it. And I remember I asked her again, like, why didn't you comment on the apology post that I made? And she was just like, I don't want anybody in my business. And I was just like, that's very strange. And so I took that again to mean that because she knew she did it, she doesn't want to publicly say, oh, you should have listened to me, because she felt like it would have come out some other way, and she didn't want to make that comment publicly because it would have come back around on her. So yeah, that was also another red flag. But yeah, say all this to say, share this story time to say, release whatever it is that you have that you feel like you never want to talk about, or something that you are holding on to. Speak about it. It makes the situation more real when you talk about it. Sometimes when you have it all in your head, you don't realize how real, how serious the situation is until you actually speak about it. Don't trust people. Don't trust anybody, not even your closest friends. Not even your closest friends. Am I the bad friend now for speaking on things? No. Because we're no longer friends. This is something that I've had to work through within myself, and I just feel like expressing. If anybody was the bad friend, it was the friend that actually, it was the person that was seeking out what the other person had. So no, only blame a female. If your man does something with a female or whatever, don't only blame the female. They're both wrong. They both owe you loyalty, especially if it's your friend. Chances are just cut the man off, cut the friend off, and move right along. You save yourself a lot of heartache, and it's not going to get any better. There's nothing that can reconcile or rebuild your trust for that person. Because even now, I would never have a female in my house with my man now. And I remember there was one of my friends that wanted to come over, and she was like, can I come stay with you? And I ended up sharing with her because she's also a very good friend, and I was just like being weird about it, or like I would ignore her whenever the summer comes around, because she would come for the summer. I would start ignoring her, and I ended up saying to her, you know, I'm just gonna tell her what's really up. Like, this is what happened to me in the past, and I don't really trust females being around my partner. She was like, I would never do that to you, and even if you asked me, I would never ever do that. And yeah, and I was just like, no, because if anybody would have told me that this person would have done that to me, I would have said no. Of anybody in the world, I would have said no, she would not. So no. And that made our that person stop talking to me. And it's just like, it damages other relationships, because it's like, I'm just trying to be honest with this person and say, this is where I'm at in my mind, and no. And even though people will say like, oh, he's not my type, trust me, you'd be surprised who your man becomes their type because he is with you. You'd be surprised. And yeah, so I just don't have females. And I think, I don't know if it's, let me know in the comments, is it like I have trust issues, or I don't even need your opinion really. It's not that I have trust issues. Like I said, the world has shown me, the universe has shown me stuff, and it's just like, how much more do you want me to show you? Like, don't do it. So another friend of mine asked me, and I remember on like a couple weeks before her flight, I was just like, no, I cannot blah blah, because I thought it was just going to be like, oh, I say yes and she never ever like does it for real. And I remember I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Like, I don't want another female in my house staying for a couple weeks again. I just don't. And I don't care if you say the guy is not your type. Like, I would say like my ex, no, I don't know. Yeah, like there are other guys that look good, like you could go be with or want to have with, and you chose him, so no. And yeah, so anyways, this video is very, very long. I don't want to make it into 2 parts either, so yeah, just watch and enjoy. Don't judge anybody though. I'm just expressing myself, talking about stuff that happened to me that you didn't know that happened to me, so you can learn me some more. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.